Howdy y'all, my name is Cynthia Castro and my project is on the occurrence subsidence in Fort Bend County, Texas. What is land subsidence? Land subsidence, which is also known as ground subsidence, is when vertical movement is present on the Earth's surface. This occurs due to the removal of groundwater and aquifers or material such as coal during mining. The image on this slide shows what happens to the land when there is a decline of water level due to groundwater extraction. You can see from the left demonstration that there is no extraction performed. The land surface level and the groundwater level are shown here. After there has been water extracted, both land surface and the groundwater level sinks. The removal of water causes the sand, clay, silt, and other material to compress, causing the sinking of the land. You can see the small image of the pump as well. At one point, that cemented square was on the land surface. With the extraction taking place, the rod has stayed at the same height while the land has lowered down, causing a gap. The area of interest for my project is Fort Bend County. As you can see from the map, the county is colored with red. The area to the upper right of it is Harris County right here. And the area to the lower right of Harris County is Galveston County, which is this guy right here. In Fort Bend County, there are two aquifers in which groundwater is extracted. They are the Chicot and the Evangeline aquifers. The extraction of the aquifers have occurred since the 1880s. For this project, I will be working with the Harris-Galveston Subsidence District. The Harris-Galveston Subsidence District is a premier water management and subsidence authority in the upper Gulf Coast aquifer in Texas, which is all of this area right here. They play an integral role in regional water management strategies to ensure the long-term viability of all water resources while protecting the lives and property within the boundaries from the impacts of subsidence and flooding. Their mission is to protect lives and property within their boundaries from the impacts of future subsidence by providing reasonable groundwater regulation based on the best available science. The purpose of my project is to make a historical timeline series using various maps in order to bring public awareness. The plan is to make the maps on ArcGIS Pro and then have them transferred to ArcGIS Online. They will be maps that the public can interact with and learn about at their own pace. Also, the historical timeline series will need further information that shows how the land has changed over the years. This means that I'll have to dig around and search for pictures or articles giving a different visual on how the land has sunk. Land subsidence isn't a topic that is spoken about popularly, unlike climate change, but it's still something important to become aware of. For the purpose of this project, I'll need to keep in mind that my audience is the general public and not a group of professionals, people who understand what GIS is, or people who have a general knowledge on subsidence. Meaning that all the data produced will have to be easy for the people to understand that don't have a background on the topics. There will be a few different tasks I'll need to accomplish for this project. I was given some data from the district to work on. Some data includes contour vector data, where a small animation clip was completed to show how there has been a change in elevation from 1906 to 1978 and 1906 to 2016. This will show how much of a difference there has been in the county from the groundwater extraction. Other data that I have obtained is the USGS groundwater levels as a shapefile and some data on GPS station as an Excel document. The Excel document contains coordinates on the GPS stations in Fort Bend, Harris, and Galveston County. For this data, I had to go through various yearly reports and add information to the Excel sheet on any vertical movement recorded from those GPS stations since 2005. With this data and the ground level data, I'll be making various interpolation maps. The image that you see here is a screenshot for one of the maps that I'm currently working on. I use the kriging method here on the water level data, and you can see that the point data shows the elevation change in feet. This is a difference of change in water levels in the aquifers from 1977 to 2020. Since the data being shown here is on water level, it explains why there is such a large difference in feet. The kriging method shows which areas have had the largest change in red and the least change in green. I will be using this method and other interpolation methods with the GPS station data as well. So from this map, you can see that this area here and this area here have had large change, which may correlate with the GPS station data to show that the areas with the least amount of water from the extraction are also sinking the most. After completing the maps, I'll be searching for images or articles, anything that can be added to the timeline series. That shows how some areas in the county have changed over the years. The final project is scheduled to be a story map of sorts. So, why is this important? And why is my project important? Land subsidence is an important topic to discuss because the effects that follow. For one, the removal of materials can cause permanent damage. As I explained at the beginning, the removal of groundwater causes the land to compress and sink. While aquifers can recharge themselves naturally from the rainfall in the regions, if the extraction amount exceeds the recharge, then the land compresses. Once the land compresses, there's nothing that can be done to undo the effects, since aquifers cannot hold the same amount of water as they did prior to the compression. When the land sinks, this becomes permanent, as I've just stated. The sinking of the land would account for many other damages that follow. Buildings can lean and fracture. Roads become uneven and break. Potholes and sinkholes are formed. Pipes burst from the shift of elevation. Railroads can break, and flooding can occur in areas that were not prone to it. Even the flooding from Hurricane Harvey can have a suggested link to subsidence. Much of the lowered land elevation can lower flood control structures, change floodplain boundaries, and flood drainage, as well as submerge wetlands. Climate change can also increase land subsidence. There are regions that don't receive the same amount of rainfall as it once used to. Without this rainfall, the recharge of the aquifers decreases, while the extraction of the groundwater remains the same or increases. With this project, I would like for the public to not only understand the effects that occur from subsidence, but also support conservation efforts. These can be small changes occurring in their own home, such as changing the shower head to one that can conserve water usage, turning off the sink while brushing one's teeth instead of leaving the faucet on. Other water conservation projects can begin to take root. Research can be funded to where inventions in agricultural areas can be improved and where water consumption may be lowered. Also, there can be an improvement in water treatment technologies. And that's the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.